This is the Gore N More podcast with your hosts TJ Bowser, Chad Chrisman, and Big Johnny D. We have such sights to tell you.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Gore N More podcast. This is your host with the most, TJ Bowser, and joining me today is the killing machine himself, Bobby Amone.
The fuck's going on, guys?
So today is July 30th, 2019. This is take 2 of the Tourist Trap review. We got half an hour into the review yesterday. Excellent episode, and the computer crashed, and we lost everything. We had Johnny D and Chad on that episode. It was actually really, really good, but shit happens, so it's just Bobby and I here today, recording away.
That's okay. We'll get through. It's okay. We had it going good yesterday. Fuck ups happen. What are you gonna do? It's part of life.
It is, and you actually watched the movie in full this time, so this will be even better.
Yeah, I literally just watched it like 3 hours ago. I loved it right off the bat.
It's so different, and Plasterface is the killer's name.
What was the name of what's his name?
Plasterface is what we call him.
Ah, okay. All right. I like that name.
Yeah, it fits him well. Speaking of that, how was your week, man? Let's talk about that first.
So far, it's been eventful. I got my truck back from the mechanic now. Radiator's all fixed and shit.
Woo!
So that's better now. It was a good weekend. I have no complaints. It's always Halloween around here, so that's it. That's no complaints whatsoever.
Any photo shoots?
Nothing this past weekend. Nothing lined up either. No, that's a lie. There is one now lined up for September. The only things I got going on in August is Monster Mania, which is the 17th, 18th, and 19th of August, where I'll be hanging out with you and Miss Tisa Wicked from Wicked Wednesdays.
Absolutely. Celebrating our birthdays.
Yes.
Yes, together.
I'll be turning 26. How old are you going to be?
26, buddy. We were born a couple days apart.
Oh, my one buddy was too. He was born 5 days before I was born.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we're all young guys, but look how far we've gotten.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's getting there now, you know.
Yes.
Next thing you know, we'll be saying we're old men.
Yes. So last week, we didn't get the opportunity to record Gore N More. I had a couple things come up, a lot of personal things hit me all at once on Monday, so I didn't have the opportunity to record. I did get a tattoo. I got 2 tattoos. I got the Mark of Thorn on my hand from Halloween 5 and 6, and also got a Friday the 13th Part 3 tattoo to add to the old Jason sleeve. It kind of looks, you know what somebody said it kind of looks like a stained glass window.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like, because the way the colors are in that tattoo, I've seen the pictures. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
I think it turned out pretty good.
It's a good-looking tattoo.
Yeah, I think so. And I showed you the other ones I'm going to get. I don't want to really reveal it to the people yet, but the 2 I sent in the chat, the Evil Dead one and the Goes to Hell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that one. I love the way that one fucking looks.
Yeah, with the dagger. Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much. But y'all,
come on, don't say none. Don't say none. Keep it.
But speaking of
Keep
Goes
it in
to
your
Hell,
pants, man.
Speaking of Goes to Hell, our company, along with Adam Marcus, now runs the biggest Jason Goes to Hell fan group. We are at 1.4 thousand members in less than 5 days.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. We're moving up on the ladder quick with that. I love it. That's one of my favorite films. You know, today I was cleaning up and I bought out my a few more of my Jason Goes to Hell magazines. I got the Fangoria Gore Zone and then the movie one itself, along with the card set, the bootleg DVD, the soundtrack, and all that stuff. So it's got its nice little section on the Jason section now.
Speaking of our group, there's actors in that from the movie. There's special effects guys. There's every single person. There's even the girl that played the baby is in the group now.
I was so shocked when I'm like, wow, all these guys are coming out of nowhere. I get Adams adding them all in. It's so cool to have the creators of that movie, especially Adam. Yeah. He's one of my favorite directors just in general. Very eccentric, knows what he wants.
Yep.
So I love Jason Goes to Hell. I really do.
And the writing for Texas Chainsaw, that story. Oh my God. It's so good. If you remove that do your thing, cuz line, I mean, to each his own on that one. But the story, the way that he approached that story and managed to make it a direct sequel to the original is so well done.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. I could just speak waves about that. And then his other projects, Secret Santa and The Dark Heart, stuff like that. Also, great films. We haven't seen Dark Heart yet. I think it's still in production or it's somewhere stuck in limbo. I did see last month he posted something. Who has the biggest Jason Goes to Hell collection, or who is the biggest fan? And then he said, "What's your location?" So that's the last thing we've seen about that film.
Okay. Well, what I will say is about that Texas Chainsaw story. When you had him on the show, that was one of my favorite interviews.
Yeah.
I loved listening to it. When he was talking about how they were starting to develop it, but the film is good except for a few things, and not everything made it in. If that whole story had made it the way it was in the film, it would have been a kick-ass movie. It's still a good one. I feel there should have been more to what they did right than what was on screen.
Yeah. I also didn't like the affair thing. Like, like they're fucking, and that's a rapper, right? Is that Akon? Or is
no,
it's somebody else. He's some sort of.
I don't know who he was. I'm just happy he died.
Yeah, like they fuck, and then like they come out of the barn half naked, and she doesn't even say anything. Like your boyfriend just came out of the barn with his ex-girlfriend half naked, and you don't say a fucking word. Like I know you guys are in a fucking
concerned.
I mean, you're in a situation, you're getting chased by Leatherface. But seriously, your boyfriend just came out of the barn naked with his ex-girlfriend.
If I was her and that was like my girlfriend coming out there, I'd be like, "Oh, we're done." I'd be like, "Yo," I'd find out that was my cousin real fast. Like, "Yo, go cut them fuckers up."
And
I'd be like, "Go get that bitch."
If you think about it, if she never would have stopped to get them, she might have got away.
That is true. But then turns to find out she didn't have to worry about it.
Nope. She was a Sawyer all along.
She was safe. She was good.
Do your thing, cuz. Anyway. Also, I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to talk too much. You know how it is. I don't want to come off as
we got some crazy fuckers out there that think you're an egotistical son of a bitch.
I guess. But anyway, speaking of egotistical son of a bitches and success, here's a message from our sponsors.
Hello there, creepy ghouls. Do you like spooky things and horror movies? Then Cabin 13 has the stuff for you. Check out their selection of horror-themed props, pins, busts, action figures, collectibles, and more. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to visit cabin13.com and buy something, or I'll kill you!
So listen here, there's a guy by the name of Kyle Shola. He's making hockey masks over there on Facebook. Folks be saying it's the best paint jobs around. He calls his business Curse Custom Weather. We'll just make about any hockey mask you want and we'll weather your clothes up too.
Marcio Charlie's Horror Costume Studios. Premium hand-sculpted latex masks, butts, and hoods. Everything is handmade and painted by Marcio himself. Be sure to check out his wide range and selection of products over at Facebook and Instagram at Horror Costume Studios.
I just gotta say, these commercials, I think they're the best ones we've had yet.
I love the voices. Like, wow, I love it. It sounds like Tales from the Crypt.
Speaking of voices, before we get into the review of Tourist Trap, I'm in 2 films doing some voice work. Haven't been officially announced yet, but if you pay attention to me, you could probably guess which 2 films they are. But either way, we got a movie to review. So what do we got today, Bobby? 1970. Today? Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, I'll do it. Today we're reviewing The Tourist Trap, which was made in 1979. It's right at that 1980, 79 mark where everything started to change a little bit. So it was directed by David Schmoller?
Schmoller. Yeah, that's how we decided that.
Schmoller. Also written by David Schmoller and J. Larry Carroll. Okay. Produced by Charles Band. And in the cast we have starring Chuck Connors as Mr. Slauson.
Okay. A.K.A. Plaster Face.
Yes. How do we pronounce that? Jocelyn Jones. That's it.
Yes.
Jocelyn Jones as Molly. John Van Ness as Jerry.
Yep.
Robin Sherwood as Eileen.
Come on, Eileen.
Come on, Eileen. Oh, don't get me singing. We'll be here all night. Tanya Roberts as Becky. Charlie's Angels. Dawn Jeffrey Nelson as Tina.
Yep.
Keith McDermott as Woody. And the last one is Shalar Kobe. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, I'd say we're not the best at pronouncing things.
Yeah, as Davey.
Now, music by, you can say that one for me.
All right, music by Pino Donaggio.
Donaggio, I think it is.
Donaggio, that's it. Even I fucked it up, so
cinematography by Nicholas von Sternberg, edited by Ted Nicklaus. And then
that's about right.
Distributed by Compass International Pictures, and you have some info on that?
Yeah, Compass International Pictures, they were the company that did Halloween 1978, John Carpenter's film. Mm-hmm. So Erwin Yablans had something to do, obviously, with this, because that was his company. Mm-hmm. And they were affiliated with quite a few horror films as the 80s went on. Sporadic, but they still had involvement with some of the pictures, which we can get to a little later on.
Yes. Released March 14th, 79. A runtime of about 90 minutes. And we'll talk about that later in our notes. Budget of $800,000. And as we talked about on yesterday's show, I think a major portion of that budget went to special effects.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It highly was relying on it big time.
Every scene has some sort of effect, especially that opening scene is literally just a special effects guy's dream.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about that? Dear God, that's exactly what it was.
So we'll get to the trailer, and then Bobby will be right back with the plot rundown.
All right, let's do it.
That Jeep, though.
Every year.
Yeah, that old fucking Jeep.
Chad said it's straight from MASH.
It is. Yo, MASH is on TV right now.
Hell yeah. That fucking noise.
Tourist trap.
Oh my God.
Beautiful young people looking.
Sounds like a bad orgasm.
It does.
Are tricked. Terrorized. Trapped.
Oh, there it is.
That's the one. That's it right there.
So many mannequins in this film. I feel like I was watching Maniac
Tourist trap.
Oh, that's a great movie.
It is.
Shock you can see.
Shock you can see.
Terror you can feel.
Oh, I'm feeling the terror now, Mr. Krabs.
Heart-stopping suspense that makes this the nightmare that never ends.
That ended pretty quickly.
Something crazy's going on at the tourist trap.
By far, the weirdest movie we have ever done.
It's definitely one of the weirdest ones I've ever watched, but that's why I liked it. It was something different.
Yes. Speaking of different, let's try to run down this plot.
You take it away, man.
Okay.
Even the plot's different than what I saw sometimes.
Yeah. So their car breaks down, and 5 friends, not 4, find themselves stranded at the Lost Oasis, which is essentially a tourist trap to get people to stop. A strange museum run by the friendly Mr. Slauson. Turns out he's not so friendly. Even though they are warned not to, the teens explore a house nearby. And I learned that it belongs to Davy, Mr. Slauson's insane brother, gifted with strange telekinetic powers. Tina, Davy has a knack for making lifelike mannequins. In fact, his house is filled with them, which we'll get to later. Davy's enthusiasm shows when he starts adding the teenagers to his collection. Wow.
This is Leatherface and Carrie's love child,
it is.
as we mentioned yesterday.
Yes.
And I just realized when I was watching this film, even though this was 1979, he looks like Leatherface from The Next Generation. Like
He does, and I love that film. A lot of people hate it, but I feel like the acting, it's kind of like Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. It's over the top, but if you just accept it for being over the top, then it's an amazing film.
Yeah, then you could be like, I could sleep easier now.
I mean, did you ever notice that in that film, Sidebar, Matthew McConaughey, when he kicks open the door for the dinner scene, he goes, all right.
Yeah, he does. It's Kevin Hart before Kevin Hart.
But I also like when he gets on the front porch.
Yeah, it's like so bombastic. It is so out there, but it is still such a fun film to watch. Like you just can't turn your eyes away.
And the screaming Leatherface, you can't top that.
Oh God!
The limp wrist with the chainsaw holding.
Oh my God! Not even.
We're gonna do that one day.
We have to. That one has to be done.
Yes. So Chad may not be here, but he's here in spirit. So we're gonna read some of the notes that he left for us. Stephen King praised the film in his book. D-A-N-S-E. What is that? Danse Macabre.
Danse Macabre.
Especially its frightful opening scene, which it is. Director David Schmoller was startled when the film received a PG rating despite its disturbing subject matter. Schmoller stated in an interview with TerrorTrap.com that he felt the film would have been more commercially successful if it had received an R rating. Now, I
agree with that because this film is weird. It's got some weird fucking shit in it. I mean, it's not gory, but the subject matter makes you go, what the fuck is he? What is this? It gives you that what the fuck.
And the next note will kind of explain the rating a little bit more, but it's funny because the Friday films just tried their best to not get an X rating. And
this is worried about a PG R rating. This is worried about that.
We talk about ratings and stuff, and let's just talk about part 5 real quick. Friday sidebar. That original sex scene with Deb was like 3 minutes long. And they had to take it out because clearly, I mean, you hire a softcore porn director and you're like,
you're going to get a lot of porn.
Essentially, that's what it turned into.
It basically was porn with a killer running around.
Yeah. Even though we love part 5, it just the ratings and all these things is just crazy from the 80s, especially this film catching that PG bug. But speaking about that, because of the PG rating, this is what some of the things that attributed to that. The script originally called for nudity, but Schmoller said that he was too bashful and embarrassed to bring it up to Tanya Roberts and the other actresses during casting.
I would have loved to have seen his face like, should I ask? I don't think I should ask.
But he waited till the lake scene when they were actually naked, and if they'd be willing, and they're like, no.
I can hear that now. Would you ladies be willing to get naked and show it on screen? No. Okay, keep going.
Awesome. A little bit more. The mannequin who gives the female lead something to drink, and I asked that yesterday's show. Actually, it was Smoller's then wife. The mannequin originally had 2 lines, but Schmoller had to edit them out in post, and she never forgave him.
Ooh, yeah, that's a year of sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, that's the doghouse and then some.
You want to know what sucks too? I don't know if the film did really successful. So at that point, it's like, oh, see, something didn't even get successful. Couldn't put my lines in. I could hear it now.
Yeah. Erwin Yablans reported hated Pino Donaggio's score for the film. It's incredible, as Yablans wanted another synthesized score in the same tradition as Halloween. Literally, the music for this movie fits absolutely perfect, and there is nothing wrong with it.
It's weird. The opening music, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm. But when
I was expecting scary, and I'm like, this is just weird, but it fits. As it went on, I'm like, yep, that fits. It don't even change it.
Absolutely. Tanya Roberts insisted on running through the woods barefoot in one scene. She thought it would help her better project a sense of pain and fear, which, okay. The result was also that her feet were bloodied.
As I said yesterday, before we got cut off, that's the same thing that Julie Michaels did in Jason Goes to Hell in that running scene.
Speaking of Julie Michaels, she's in our group.
She wasn't wearing any fucking shoes at one point.
Should I use this opportunity to announce a new episode?
Please. Yeah, you might as well do it.
So August 12th, I will be interviewing Andy Block from Jason Goes to Hell, or as you might know him, Deputy Josh, the Melting Man.
I would love to ask about that whole melting scene.
Oh, well.
You got to ask like 5 questions just on that scene.
As official host of the Gore N More podcast, you are now able to edit the interview questions and add whatever you want.
Oh. All right, you're going to have 20 questions on whatever you have.
Yeah, I talked to some of the people that I interviewed, and from now on, I'm going to ask maybe... I only ask 13 questions. I think I'm going to maybe do that a little bit more, maybe 20. I think that might extend the length. Now, if it's like... See, it's hit or miss, because like Bugsy Hoffa, it was an 18-minute interview, and then I did Mick Strawn, and it was a 2-hour interview.
Yeah, it all depends on the person you get.
Yeah.
But for some people, if you get in the future, sometimes you can just look at their film career and know that it's going to be long.
Yeah.
Even if it's for one film, like say if you even got like another Jason, you know there's going to be more. If you got Kane, you got 4 films to go through. If you got another killer, you got a lot to go through.
Yeah. The opening sequence.
Right.
I stroked out there. The opening sequence when the items fly out of the cabinet, you talked about this yesterday, was filmed with the cabinet nailed to the ceiling, and the crew were on the top of the ceiling flinging items straight down. When it is shown in the film, it gives the illusion that the items are flying straight out.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to almost what they did in Nightmare on Elm Street when the Johnny Depp kill scene.
Mm-hmm.
What they did, it's a rig, so what they did is they flip it upside down and they poured blood through the bed, and then they shot it upside down to make it look like the blood was coming up out of the bed.
Ah, okay.
And then what happened, though, is it tilted the wrong way, and then it started, I think, electrocuting things on set at one point, because they talk about it in the Elm Street documentary, Never Sleep Again, quite extensively, especially on that first, well, all the films, I should say. So that was, it's similar a little bit.
Okay. Would they have also used that in part 2 whenever they have the coach strapped to the wall? Whenever the balls and stuff are coming up?
I don't remember them talking about doing that same kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they did. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and rewatch the documentary.
You know who'd be the guy to ask that to? I'll ask Mick.
Ask Mick, because he was on it.
No, he was on 3 and 4, but he knows everything about these special effects. So I literally just be like, "Yo, how was this done?" He knows everything. Yeah.
So then it's ask Mr. Mick. I got a million questions for him if I ever met the guy, for God's sakes.
He's moving to Nashville, and he said that he's going to start doing East Coast cons with us since he technically works for us.
Oh shit! All right, cool.
Yeah, we'll be hanging with Mick Strawn soon. Anyway, Torch Trap was based on David Schmoller's senior film project at film school, according to Schmoller's commentary on the 20th anniversary DVD. Okay.
All right.
The Blu-ray releases from Full Moon Features in the United States and 88 films in the United Kingdom, but it's missing 5 minutes of footage. That means the version that we watched has 5 minutes of footage removed.
I wonder what that 5 minutes encompasses.
Yeah. What I would like it to, this is just what I would, and then you could talk about what you would want. I want more explanation of why he has those powers.
Yeah, I would like to know a little bit of backstory on this character, because this is not a movie you're going to get a sequel to.
Yeah.
For sure, because it's too weird. Even now, you couldn't make a sequel to it. No. It just wouldn't fit.
Or a remake.
I would like to know... Say it again?
Or
remade too, yeah. I would like to know more about him. And then the only other thing I would say is probably a little bit more like blood. Just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just enough to give you that little, ooh, it's there.
I completely and totally agree. Now, yesterday we kind of had like a sidebar discussion about set design. So, production designer
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Robert Burns, who also worked on TCM and The Hills Have Eyes, both very good films and have some of the best production design that we've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
He handled the art direction and the majority of the special effects for Tourist Trap, including the mannequins and their physical manipulations, which, again, we'll talk about here after this. To accomplish the poltergeist-like effects in the film's opening sequence, the set was constructed and rotated at 90 degrees. This allowed items to be hurled. Yeah, we've already talked about that. For the death sequence of Tanya Roberts' character, for example, a block of wood was taped behind Roberts' hair. A knife attached to a wire was hurled at the back of her head, which stuck in the wooden block.
Yeah, that's not too safe. But hey, you got to suffer for the art. You know, if it's going in, it's going to go in deep.
He had the production designer do the special effects. It was a different time then, and safety regulations weren't exactly, how would you say, up to par?
Well, let's just say in 1980, it changed.
Yeah.
They missed it by a year.
So, speaking of that, the feel of the movie and the sets, every scene, we pointed out, has some sort of mannequin in it. And it gives this very claustrophobic feel, and it also adds this slight, I don't know, feeling of, I don't know, like, you know what I mean. It adds to the film, and it really allows you to immerse yourself in this setting. Is that
it gives you the feeling with all those mannequins that you're always being watched.
Yeah, for sure.
Because every corner you look, if you look at the mannequin, it doesn't even have to look at you, but the eyes follow you. It's like when you look at a picture, the eyes don't move, but if you go up, down, side to side, it's fucking looking at you.
Yeah.
It's one of the weirdest things ever, but it's also one of the scariest things ever because it gives you that uncomfortable feeling you're being watched, but nobody's here.
And the crazy thing about this movie is that those mannequins will turn into actors at random.
Yeah.
Which
was a great scare factor.
Yeah. So Italian composer Pino Donaggio was in town working on Joe Dante's Piranha, another great film, at the time that David Schmoller was filming Tourist Trap. Since Donaggio spoke Spanish, as did Schmoller, the director was able to convince the composer to score the music for Tourist Trap. The two would have subsequent
collaborations.
Wow, I fucked up with that one. Including
That's okay.
Crawl Space and 86. Have you seen that film?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I never fully watched it, but the bits and pieces I saw they were pretty gnarly. So it was a pretty good looking film. I just fully never watched it.
Okay. Do you have any big questions for this film?
I mean, my big question, why not the R rating, and why, just that's pretty much it. That was my big question, is why not the R rating? It really should have gotten it. And it would have been 10,000 times better. And probably another little sidebar, since this film didn't get an R rating, probably didn't do well, which is quite obvious. It's the same thing with the movie Prison in 1988. It got an R rating, but it didn't get distributed as much.
Yeah.
So it didn't have high success. So these two films have something there. It's like if this one had an R rating, it would have been successful. If that film was distributed nicely, the company went bankrupt at some point, so that's why we never saw it until now. It probably would have been a big horror film. They both would have been big horror films of the time.
So movies such as Blood Rage and Highway to Hell are films that are examples of that, where it just didn't get distribution. That the films were made, they were either shelved and never distributed, or they were just put out, or they just put out to a couple theaters, and they're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Some of the films that you don't put out big, sometimes they get the cult following, and then you go, well, why wasn't it big? Oh, it was this, it was that. And then sometimes you go, man, if you just go back and change that, it would be great.
That Highway to Hell film, that was one of C.J. Graham's movies. And
yeah, he did the Hell Cop.
Yes. Were you at the Q&A at Monster Mania for him?
No, I was not, but I did see the movie.
Oh, me too.
And just watching him as Hellcop, I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see his body language and the walk. It was like very similar to his Jason. I saw it right away. I was like, yeah, that's him.
Wait till you see
it right
Vengeance.
away. Oh, I'm ready to see that movie.
His portrayal of Elias Voorhees. Oh,
killer.
yes. Douche of the movie, Plasterface. I'll say it right now.
I love the look of that mask.
Yes, all of them. They change. My favorite line. Why don't you love me?
Why don't you like me?
You're
The
so
way he
pretty.
said that, why don't you like me? He said it so, he's like so casual about, why don't you like me?
And what does he say when she's running through the woods? Come here, little girl. Come here.
Yeah, and he's got the head in his hand.
Yes.
Come here, little girl. And it's like, Molly! Help me, Molly! It's like, what the fuck is it gonna do for you? You're ahead. We can't help you.
And the fucking scream that comes out of the heads.
It's like,
Every time they use the same effect, man. It's crazy.
It's that high pitched laugh that you hear in the film. Oh, that was, oh my God. It's like,
This is actually one of the films that actually Sarah watched with me. And she was even like, what the fuck? Like, she's
what
watched
the fuck is this?
She's watched Maniac, and her reaction wasn't as fucking intense as it was to this film. So, and that scene where all the mannequins are like surrounding, like they fall on her, I was like, I got serious hardcore like Maniac end vibes from that.
Yeah. The only difference between this and Maniac is the mask and the scalping.
Yes. Oh, dude. You know what would be a really cool thing that nobody sells? What if people started making mannequin heads with latex scalps on them?
Ooh.
Would that not be a sweet
yeah,
display piece?
that would be pretty fucking interesting.
Yes, and like even have like the latex, you can glue it on to the mannequin head, but just put a nail in there and then have blood running down the side of the mannequin head and then have that as a display. Yeah. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, have that as a display in your corner of the room and see what happens.
Bobby, what if you did a fucking Maniac cosplay, dude?
You know, I never thought about it, but I mean, I could.
You have
the movie, so I could go back and watch it.
Yeah, you just have to wear like a
see
track
what I'd
jacket.
have to look like.
A track jacket, some I don't even know what he wears on like his bottoms. He wears some fucking t-shirt. He wears a track jacket, and you just have to carry around a shotgun. Or
I could get away with it.
Or what is it? Is it the little? It's a case, right? It's like an instrument case that he keeps all of his weapons in.
Yeah, it's something. I got to go back and rewatch that movie.
Anyway, back to Tourist Trap.
Yeah, come on, let's finish this one because if we start doing on that, we're kind of screwed.
Favorite kill.
The girl who gets the plaster over her face.
Mine is the opening sequence when the fucking pipe shoots across the room, stabs him, and then the blood runs out of the pipe.
Yeah, I like the plaster kill because being somebody who likes makeup effects, they got to put that shit on your head. They got to put that on your head, and you're already claustrophobic.
Can we talk about how he punches through the door? The last ditch effort to escape. I'm gonna punch my. They do a lot of that in this movie, though. Did you notice? There's at least 3 or 4.
Yes, they do.
Just fucking let's punch holes in doors or knock holes in doors to get through. No, you never see that in movies.
No, they're not.
These fucking doors are flimsy as shit.
Oof. I could blow through it with probably my pinky.
Yeah. Best scene, Bobby.
Oh. I love the opening sequence.
Yep.
And I liked them going through the woods with him coming after her because for what we were talking about before, the sounds that he was making and what he was saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't a monster's voice. It was a voice.
Yeah.
A normal human voice. That's just creepy.
You know what I never understood? I want to pick apart that first scene. So like all that crazy shit's happening, right?
Yeah.
And he's looking for a way out. They literally throw a mannequin through a fucking window. There's your way out.
That he did? Oh, yeah.
Why didn't you just leave through the window?
I would have been out. I would have gone.
Well, there you go, Schmoller. We just fucking picked apart your movie in one. It could have been over in 5 minutes.
It could have been over in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Never would have saw it again. It's kind of like if you watched it and he got the boat back, never would have happened.
So your
never
favorite-
would have been a problem.
So your favorite scene is the opening?
Yeah, I would go with the opening scene. Absolutely.
Mine is when the dude comes in at the end and he's like, walks over and he takes off his arm. And he walks up to his neck and he pops his fucking head off. And you're just like, what is going on? What is reality?
I don't know, but it's sure as hell is not here.
Yeah. So did the opening scene hook you in? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, it did. Actually, before the opening scene happened, I was hooked in with the fucking score.
Yeah, dude. It's so...
Because I'm like...
Ooh.
Because it was weird. It was right out there. I was like, all right, now I gotta watch this because where does this lead?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, absolutely, no doubt.
Hottest girl.
Tanya.
You like Tanya Becky? I think
Or
her character is well done as also. I mean, she fights. She definitely puts up a fucking fight, and she never gives
that's
up.
true.
She never tries
That's
to give up. You know what I mean?
No, they never do. It's actually between her and then Jocelyn Jones as Molly.
Okay, I can feel that. Did the score set the mood? Abso-fucking.
Yes, absolutely.
It's great.
It wasn't lying to you.
Now the next one is best song.
It didn't lie.
Yeah. We can't really pick best song because it changes and it's literally just synth music from the it's what would become the norm in the 80s for scoring horror movies.
Yeah, synthesizers and all, you name it. It was in this movie and it sure as hell made its way all the way to the rest.
Favorite character, Plasterface, such a unique killer, man. So different.
Yeah, Plasterface and then what's his name? Mr. Slausen himself, because he's
Yeah.
You know why he was a good old boy? And then you see at the end, it's like, wait a minute.
And they do provide some backstory. His brother did exist, and he was married, and he walked in on them cheating, and then he killed them both, which caused him to develop schizophrenia, and apparently, I'm just going to assume, also caused him to develop telekinetic powers.
I say, it has to be connected by that somehow because you're either A, kind of born with that or not. I could be wrong. I'm no doctor, but there's sometimes traumatic events make you develop some weird shit.
What about
so
you?
I wouldn't doubt that. Say that again?
Who's your favorite character?
I would Plasterface.
Okay.
For sure.
Was it scary? We are so
I don't know
numb.
if I would say.
We are so numb to that.
I mean, yeah, when somebody asks me, is it scary? That's like asking fucking a pizza guy who makes pizza for a living, is it good? It's okay. Been making it for 40 years.
Exactly.
know.
It's more strange than scary. You know?
But it has its jump scare moments.
Yes.
Right off the bat, it has it.
Yeah.
Like when, what's her name? When Becky dies, when he comes in the room, way he turns his head and everything just starts moving.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And like everything just and then she just see her start dying. I'm like, okay, I could see where they were going. So the scare factor's there, but it's definitely a little more weird and an intense film than scary. But it's got its moments. That's for sure.
For sure. Does it hold up today? We're talking about it, so it does.
Yeah, it holds up. But I will say this though, you could so be like, yeah, that's 70s.
Yeah, like you said, it has that chromatic feel to it.
Yeah, it's got that look to it. Like, can you watch it today and be like, yeah, I like this? Could you put it in a theater and maybe sell it as a movie today? No.
Was the acting good or bad? I think it was exceptional.
I would say it was pretty good.
Yeah.
For the time, for the movie itself, yeah. For what they were trying to sell, I think it was.
Now, cinematography, I loved it. It wasn't the best. It wasn't like The Crow or anything, but it was good enough for the film. That's all I'll say about it.
I liked it. Like it gave you that claustrophobic feeling. It also gave you that grittiness. So I loved the way the film looked for sure. here's the best way to compare it. You take movies like Chainsaw Massacre and The Tourist Trap, compare it to The Exorcist, which is not gritty at all, looking wise. It's pretty clean, you know, like when you look at it. This film and Chainsaw, they're gritty.
Yeah.
Which is, it gives you that homemade look.
Yeah.
But gives you that fucking terrifying look and sells what it's selling. Not to say The Exorcist didn't. Of course it did. It's one of my favorite movies. But you could see it was clean.
Yeah, for
a
sure.
little bit. It wasn't as gritty.
Do you like the
But
premise?
I loved. Oh yeah.
So I like it too. It's so unique and it stands out amongst so many films.
Oh yeah, easily.
So rating, I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5. What about you?
I'll give it a 5.
You're gonna give it a perfect score?
Nah, not a perfect score.
3 out of I'm giving. It's out of 5. So.
That's 5 stars, right? Oh, I thought we were doing like through 10. Yeah, 3 is probably the highest it could go. I would give it, the 3 is fair enough for it.
Okay.
Like, if there was a little more blood, there was a little bit more scare factor to it, then I could see it being a 4. But a 3 fits this for what it was, is now on my list of one of my favorites to watch. So, I give it that. I agree with you, boss.
Awesome. So, that's a Gore N More rating, a 3 out of 5. Another great film, another great review, I'd like to say. And, man, you know what? Let's talk about the network a little bit. So, you know a couple of the shows. Why don't you talk about them? Well,
Do Back Discussion here has quite a few podcasts going on, and they're great podcasts. And I like to listen to them all. One of my favorites is Wicked Wednesdays by my good friend Tisa Wicked. Every Wednesday, she's got something. She's always talking about horror. Everybody go check her out.
Yep.
Podcast with Mick Strong. Did I say his name right?
Yep. Rabbit Hole.
Yeah, the Rabbit Hole one. That's always a great listen. The Star Wars Do Back Discussion one.
Yep.
The Hall of Heroes. There's so much stuff going on. And then we have reviews on the website. I'll be working on a couple reviews. Who normally does the reviews? It's kind of bounces around, right?
Connor and Brandon bounce off of each other on reviews. Most of the stuff you find on the website is either done by Chiquiti or Stoudenheimer.
Okay.
Both very gifted writers. The last article you did was the 3 from Hell trailer, which is also very well done. And I think it was one of the top viewed articles that month, I believe, as well.
Everybody was anticipating for that teaser.
Yeah.
And then the trailer was just released, was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago at least?
I want to say 2.
Yeah, I think it was 2. It wasn't last week. It was 2 weeks ago. And I'm so looking forward to that film. I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan, so that film I'm really looking forward to watching, I should say. Can't get my shit straight.
But just a friendly reminder, all of our podcasts can be found on Spotify, Google Play, and iTunes. And of course, the wonderful dobackdiscussion.net. Your source. I just messed up. Your source for pop culture and much more. Also, visit our TeePublic store for some great t-shirts. Bobby's got a sweet Gore N More shirt. We just got confirmation for our new t-shirt design is on the way, Bobby.
I will wear it.
NWA. I can't even say it on it.
Absolutely. Dude, what are you doing over there? Come on. Get your fucking shit together.
We will reveal that shirt at Steel City. So you guys just stay tuned and pay attention to the stuff that we're wearing. It's a great shirt. Bobby knows what I'm talking about. It's different, and parody is fair use, just to remind everyone, especially on a fan film. But anyway, This is your host with the most, TJ Bowser. Catch us next week for a review of The Lost Boys. Signing off. And Bobby?
Catch you guys later. Listen to the podcasts. I'll kill you in the future. Have a good one.